can tell you what Christmas is all about. Lights, please. They were sore afraid, and the angel said unto them, Fear not, for behold, I bring you tidings of great joy.
Thank you all are doing okay. I figured I would try a voiceover once more. I don't know if I'm still entirely comfortable with the process, and I still might go back to text only. Last week's video didn't perform as well as my previous videos, and I'm thinking it might be partially because it didn't feature my Hobonichi enough, which I'm okay with, but it means that last week's video isn't a very good representation of whether or not a voiceover is something that everyone enjoys or not. So I decided to try again with this week with a more Hobonichi-centered video. That way I can gather some more data and see how things go. If this try doesn't perform very well, then I might just go back to text and music only for a while. That being said, I found myself filming a lot more this week than usual, and I think I might make a separate video for the week with that footage, as in a video separate from the one I'm making today. That footage contains a lot more of the other things that I've been doing, like writing letters for my patrons and filling in my other notebooks. I actually have a goal this year to try and use up all of my notebooks, so if you'd like to see that or hear more about that, please let me know, because I think that I might want to document that a little bit more. I'll probably make the video anyway, because I think it will give me more practice in editing, but it would be really nice to know if something that I'm working on is something that others are interested in as well. What I generally use my Hobonichi for is to write down tasks and appointments, and to also write down a bit of what I did that day. I mentioned previously that I've been struggling with my mental and physical health, and writing down even a little bit of what I did that day helps me feel like I have a better grasp on my memory and help me hold on to the things that I've worked on or things that I particularly enjoyed. Last week, the main entry was about a book that I had finished reading. I finished a book this week as well, and I started a few more that I ended up not finishing. But it's been nice to be able to track those in here. Did you enjoy hearing about the book last week? Would you like to hear me narrate the quotes or reviews of other books in the future? I follow a lot of people on YouTube who post solely about books, and I really like hearing from them. I decided this week to document a bit of my crocheting. I actually learned how to crochet as a child. I grew up in an environment where domestic and homemaking activities were highly encouraged. But I didn't really learn any of the names or any precise methods. So I used the pages on the right of my book to log the new vocabulary I learned, and some of the sketches and tools and squares that I finished. I don't know if the code next to the vocabulary really makes any sense to anyone but me, but it's been nice to have a reference when I'm following a new pattern, or if I just want to review a new technique. One of the patterns I found used a really interesting way to start a new row that eliminated the need for multiple chain stitches and actually made the square much smoother in the end, so I absolutely wanted to remember that. Having a spot to record the yarn, the weight, the hook, the color, all of those things has proved to be really beneficial as well, since the project I'm working on is going to need a lot more squares, and therefore a lot more yarn. With it recorded in my book, I don't have to worry about losing the paper wrapping on the yarn or having to grab my project when I'm ready to order more materials. I basically ended the week by setting up the template for next week. I like to draw a dotted line to separate my task area from the memory area of my entries. I hope you enjoyed this. Maybe you were able to journal a little with me as well. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. I've really enjoyed seeing my little channel grow, and I'd love to see you all again next week. Bye for now.